The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercise before this one, and they're paying off.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there for the Giants. 44 yards. 1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. They'll try to run this one in. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Giants will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. They'll run with a rookie drafted in the 3rd round. They'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 13 yards, 1st down, Panthers.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. The Panthers at 3-6 now on the year. They come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 32-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Isaiah Simmons Getting by the offensive line and dropping the quarterback.
At the 44-yard line.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Looking to throw. And his throw is incomplete. You talk about this Giant defense. Currently number 1 in the NFL against the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. And the Panthers turned away on 4th down. And the Giants are going to get the football back. So their first drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. A little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game. That they've got to match them point for point, as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's got room. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 72 yards rushing for him in this one as he starts to draw nearer to a 1,500-yard campaign.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10, down at the 33. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Giants have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Here's 2nd and 8. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. 3rd down and 6. He'll look to throw. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first.
Seems like all the fireworks in this first quarter have been on the other sideline, but here they're saying, hey, we've got some explosive guys on our side too. And that's a big play in a game that's looking like it might be full of big plays.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10, as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Well, now they'll try the end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. Boy, that is a 7-yard loss. 2nd down now. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Panthers nothing.
2nd quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation. Here's a carry heading left, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
They'll set up a throw. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. A great effort there. 37 yards. And the Panthers have got it back to within a score. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make our score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35.
At their own 36-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence, because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense. Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll drop to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and this is what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
80 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. From the 44 now, here's 2nd and 4. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. He'll get 15 and a Giants first down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Being chased out left. That one finds Hyatt. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Giants have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And it's now 21-7. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
They're going to look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Thibodeau. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown. Well, the way things have been going to this one, Charles, it was only a matter of time before this defense got involved and made a big play. And they do right there. Gosh, this lead is so large, CD, and we're only in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's so amazing about it. You mentioned this large lead. How's this their first takeaway of the game? And what a spectacular one it was. Adding to the lead, showing the true dominance, and you're exactly right. We're still in the first half.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And
everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Buying time to his left. Hyatt has got it. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Set, go!
He'll drop to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. A great play there. With touchdown number 15 on the year and second of the game. And the Giants are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Second and 4. Forced out to his left. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 8 yards that time. Able to take off, and the result is a first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up fourth down.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on fourth. They'll look to throw again. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A gain of 12 on 4th and 10, just enough for the conversion. And defensively, an opportunity slips away. So the 4th down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And the Giant rush gets home as down he goes. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on fourth. He'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. Still on his feet, and he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Giants touchdown. So they go on fourth down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
Take over first and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He's going to air one out. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. And the Giants will take over here at their own 14-yard line.
At their own 14-yard line.
The clock showing just 16 seconds till the half as they line up first and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Here's a 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Flushed out right. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to air one out. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Panthers going to get the football first, trailing here as well as we resume play in this second half. Oh, a good return up past the 30. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
Now, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good game and a first down.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Now back to throw. That's taken in. It's Xavier Liggett. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. To the sideline and incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Bobby Okereke. And the Giants are going to get it back here just past the 35. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And not much room to speak of. They'll get about 3 up to the 41.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle, because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Here's 3rd and 6. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
From the 20, here's a second down and 9.
Ready, ready.
They'll set up to throw. Dancing to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And it'll be intercepted. And the Giants are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he is out of bounds up around the 14-yard line. 119 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, "I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along."
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll try and run for it. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. He's been tough for this defense to handle, over 100 yards. You kind of knew that they were going to him on that play, didn't you?
They certainly did. That's one of those situations where you simply say, my best runner over my best blockers. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And I don't care if they know it on the other side. Here we come, and they got it done.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Give him 18 there, and the Giants have a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. The Giants on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. And the Panthers are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game gets through, and now an opening. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it.
73 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues.
Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles, gain some additional yardage.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. Back to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 9, and they're going to face a third down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
Being chased out left. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. An 8-yard touchdown run.
And the Panthers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And fights through one man. And the Panthers have recovered.
Well, CD, you understand. I mean, they're so eager trying to get back in this game here the fourth quarter, but they touched that one a little too early before it went 10 yards.
Brandon, in such a high-stakes scenario, everyone's feeling the pressure on this play. The special teams coordinator, which one is he going to pick in terms of kicks? Can the kicker execute it? Can the team wait for 10 yards? So many variables, and in this case, they didn't get it done.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Here's a quick throw caught out wide. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Ready?
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But if the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, And oftentimes, we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Let's go. Take go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Tyler Bass now for the point after.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here's 2nd and 10.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Looks like they're going to keep throwing till the bitter end. This one's long since over, but give them credit. They're going to go down fighting. That one, incomplete.
Back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back to throw again. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception.
Still going inside the 20.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown.
Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense, and certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score.
Partner hoping they're holding a nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rip of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And a nice return, but he's going to pay for it as they knock him down hard at the end.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
After the pick six, they go right back to the air. Buying time to his left. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game.
Well, this has certainly turned into a showcase game for what he can do on the ground because they're just continuing to give him chances to run it, and he's earning every additional carry by putting up positive yardage on each run.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win him the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. And it's incomplete. It was an exercise in futility anyway. It doesn't affect the final outcome, and this one's over. Well, an interesting finish to this one. They get in the end zone at the end of the game. Then they went for two. It wouldn't have mattered. The game was over, but they didn't get that two-point conversion.
I think trying to